brothers and sisters. I know it's been a while since I did a Facebook Live, but God's timing is the best. And everything I do is for the glory of God. It's not for me. You know, many people do things for themselves, and there's always a time for them to do something. But when it's for the glory of God, it's only in God's timing. Because wherever God guides, he provides. And wherever he sends, he protects. So I just want to share real quick. I only have 20%, so my phone's going to die because live kills my phone really, really fast. But the false preachers and the false teachers and these mega pastors, you got to stop just crucifying them and persecuting them. It's not just their fault. Yes, they're wrong, but it's the false Christians that are also filling up their congregations. It's the false Christians that are giving them all this money. You can't become a mega pastor without people giving money to these people. So they want to hear their lies. They want to hear their false doctrines. They want to hear their false and empty promises. So you just can't blame the false pastors, the mega pastors, the false teachers, you know, whoever, the false apostles. They're not just at fault. Yes, they're wrong, but the false Christians that are filling up their congregations is just as fault as well. Look what it says in the Bible. It says, now the Spirit speaketh especially, that in latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisies, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats where God created to be received with thanksgiving. For the time will come they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust they shall heap of themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall turn unto fables. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall come in, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves with destruction. And men shall follow their pernicious ways, by the reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So I'm only talking fast, I only got 5%. But brothers and sisters, we can't just, I'm not doing that, but you can't just persecute these false pastors, these mega pastors, these false prophets, these false teachers. They're not just at fault. Remember, people have to make you, a celebrity doesn't get famous without people. A president don't get put into office without people. Everyone is blaming Trump, but the world voted for him. This country voted for him. He didn't get there by just jumping through the doors. He got there by being put in there. So it's people that wanted him there. So you can't just look at Trump in a bad light. You got to stop blaming all these mega pastors and these false pastors and these false prophets and false teachers. Yes, they're wrong, but you need to be looking at the Christians, the so-called Christians that's in their church, that's making their congregation grow, that's giving them money, that's making them popular, that's going to these false prophecy gatherings, these false miracle and healing crusades. It's the people. Those false prophets will not be able to be who they are without people wanting to hear what they're speaking and wanting to see these false things that they're doing. A mega pastor wouldn't have a big congregation unless the people are pouring into that congregation, wanting to hear those false lies. So it's not just the pastor's fault. He's not just at fault. It's the false Christians that are filling up these churches. All y'all keep blaming all these people. There's so many names out there, from Joe to T.D. Jakes to Joyce Myers to Creflo. It's so many names of people that they speak so evil of. But remember, these are so-called Christians that's in their churches, that's filling these churches up, full to the brim. So who's really at fault? It's not just the pastors, it's the people that's wanting to hear these false Christians, making them rich, making them famous, making them mega pastors, buying them jets, buying them this, buying them that. It's the people that's doing that. Them pastors can't do that by themselves. Don't just blame the pastors. Love them. Don't just blame the Christians. Love them. But they are all wrong. The pastors are wrong, the false pastors, and also the false Christians are wrong. Because a pastor can't preach to himself. Someone has to come listen. A false prophet can't just false prophesy to himself. People have to listen and want to hear those false prophecies that only please your flesh. So remember, the pastor is not just at fault. Yes, he's wrong. But the Christians that are going there are wrong as well. So don't be deceived, brothers and sisters. All these YouTube videos of T.D. Jakes and Joe, listen, T.D. Jakes can leave this world today. I'm not saying that's happening. It doesn't matter. People are still going to go somewhere else to hear whatever that's not of God. It doesn't matter. So don't be deceived. It's not him. It's the people that goes and wants to hear these things. People didn't get to, and I'm not speaking of him, what people talk about. And I'm changing the subject. But It's the false Christians that are making these people mega pastors, making these people famous false prophets. People going, yeah, it's a word from the Lord. He's a man of God. He only getting that advertisement from Christians. The word doesn't support mega pastors. The word don't support false prophets. The word don't support anything that has to do with God. These are false Christians supporting these false Christians and these mega prosperity, you know, you can send preachers and live in darkness preachers and God will forgive you preachers. It's the false Christians that are supporting them, not the world. This is a religious thing. The world ain't involved in this. This is a religious thing. It's the world, it's the religion side of Christianity that's supporting these mega pastors, prosperity preachers, you know, fire and brimstone preachers, you know, the street ministers. You know, it's these people that support these things that claim to be Christians. So next time you look at any one of these pastors in a bad light, don't be deceived. The people that's in his church, so what are you going to do if you take him off the scene? Just say T. Jakes disappeared today, right? People that listen to what he was saying, where are they going to go? To someone else that sounds like him or that teaches like him. So it's not just the pastor. That's all I'm trying to tell you, brothers and sisters. It's not just the pastor. The people make these pastors mega pastors. People make them famous. People are running to hear them. They go into their conferences, going to their meetings. And these are supposed to be Christians, not unbelievers. Unbelievers don't care anything about God. You know that. Don't be unequally yoked. These are religious folks that are going to these places. Listen to these people preach and teach and listen to these false prophecies. So don't just blame the pastors. Don't just blame the false teachers. Don't just blame the false prophets, the false pastors, the false preachers, the false apostles. Don't just blame them. People that are supposed to be Christians are making them rich, making them famous. You never seen Jesus Christ be rich and famous. He had no reputation. You're going everywhere telling everybody about T.D. Jakes. You're going everywhere telling everybody about Joel Osteen. You're going everywhere telling everybody about Creflo. Jesus never advertised himself. You never did those things. You never see those things before. But it's what you see today. So that's what I'm trying to show you, brothers and sisters. Many people are talking about these pastors. But some of your pastors are identical to those pastors. They just didn't get to that level yet. Or maybe you don't live in a city where they have high-paying jobs, as some cities do, to make churches bigger. Let me give you wisdom. So some of you people, pastors are the same. If they had the same opportunity, they'll take it. That's the truth. But some churches are not in cities where a lot of people that come to their churches are making a lot of money. So their churches don't be as big. So some of these places, you know, these places like the South, a lot of people in the South, you know, the houses are cheaper. You know, the jobs, you know, you can buy land. A lot of people, you know, do different things. It's different in the South. The cost of living is higher in California and up north. Most of the big churches are all in the South. So pay attention. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Pay attention. This is all I'm going to share. I love you all. Don't just blame the false prophets, false preachers, false teachers, false prosperity preachers. Don't just blame them. People are running to fill their churches up. People are running to hear these false prophecies. People are running to these false healing and miracle crusades. They're running to them who supposed to be Christians. So it doesn't matter if you take away all the ones who's known as being the prosperity gospel preachers. You can take them away. Satan's going to raise somebody else up, and that church is going to be full to the brim. You can take them all the way today, all the ones who's known in the world. Satan will raise up another one. He's been doing it since the beginning of time. Look at Bar Jesus in the Bible. Bar Jesus, the false prophet. He'll raise them up. So just be wise. It doesn't matter if they take them away today. They're going to get on Google, get on the internet, and find someone else that preaches false doctrine as well. And they're going to go and give them all they have, all their earnings, sowing seeds, giving them $1 million, making them rich and famous, buying them jets and Rolls Royce and Lamborghinis and different things. It's going to still happen. It's the people that makes the false prophets famous, make these prosperity preachers rich. People want to be that way. They want to live in lavish. They want to live with money. They want to live in fame. So just take note of that. I love you all, brothers and sisters. God bless. Peace be unto you all.